Hi, this is Chris Westbrook. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hey there, PA Federationists. Welcome to another episode of White Canes Connect, presented by the National Federation of the Blind of Pennsylvania. My name is David Goldstein. I am the first vice president of the affiliate. I am treasurer of both the Keystone chapter and the Pennsylvania Association of Blind Merchants. Joining us today is White Canes Connect creator and Keystone chapter second vice president, Lisa Bryant. Lisa, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and how are you today?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you. I am doing well, Mr. Man of Many Hats, and excited about our last episode for 2023. Wow, where did the year go?
It really did go fast, and we've got a really different episode today. We're going to kind of be covering two bases with today's episode.
Yeah. So as a lot of our members know, we had our state convention in Harrisburg in November, and there were some hiccups, to say the least, with the logistics, with the accommodations. But we asked people to send us their feedback, whether they called or emailed, about the content of the convention. We wanted to make sure, especially for first-time goers, that we heard from them about what went great, what they needed more of, as we plan our conventions in the future.
Yeah, they really had a lot of great insight into what went on, and it was nice to hear from people. Now, some folks sent us emails, and we're going to play one in a second. It's from Kat Botner, who is a longtime veteran of Delaware state conventions, but she is new to the Pennsylvania state convention. Now, because Lisa and I aren't reading these, you're going to hear different voices, and they're not the person who sent them. They are, of course, AI voices, but let me know what you think of those. You can shoot us an email, and we'll give you all that information at the end. But here is Kat's take on this year's state convention.
My thoughts of the 2023 National Federation of the Blind of Pennsylvania State Convention are the following. As someone who attended the convention who has multiple disabilities, I find the Pennsylvania affiliate to be welcoming, willing to work with anyone, regardless of the background. And this would definitely have me being a part of the affiliate, coming to events, including state convention year after year. I want to thank you for an awesome experience, as well as an inclusive one. Can't wait to be a part of this awesome organization. Thanks again, Kat Botner.
So thanks, Kat. And we should have mentioned, too, that Kat is also first vice president of the Keystone chapter here in Philadelphia.
Yes, she is. And she travels quite a way to get to our chapter meetings. It's not an easy road for her to get to our meetings every month at the Penn Museum, which is a very cool place, by the way, to have a meeting when you see things that are 4,000 and 5,000 years old every time you go to a meeting. But thanks again, Kat, and
a show of true commitment.
Yeah, there you go. And again, looking forward to a great year coming from our first vice president of the Keystone chapter. And one of the people that, Lisa, you and I both met in Harrisburg, and I have subsequently seen him again in Harrisburg at a blind merchants event a couple of weeks ago, is Steve Morelli. Now, Steve enjoyed being around all the blind folks that were there, and here is what Steve had to say about the convention.
Hey, folks. Great meeting you at the conference. It was comforting to be in the company of so many blind folks. I'm a little late with this, but here are some answers to the questions. What was the most important piece of information you learned? What would you not have known? Had you not attended the convention, I learned some details about SSDI that I needed to know. I also learned about state programs. There was more, of course, but those stuck out for me. Are you now inspired to become more involved with the NFB? If so, do you know what you'd like to do? I would like to help, but I'm not sure what I would like to do. I suppose it would depend on what the needs are. Did you make any connections that you will follow up with? You are not obligated to share names if you do not feel comfortable doing so. Absolutely. I hope to keep in touch with a few people. Briefly share anything else. I appreciated everything about the convention. The only criticism I'd share about the venue is that the lighting was not great. I asked fully sighted people if it seems dim, and they agreed. Obviously, that is not the fault of the conference organizers. Thanks. Steve Morelli.
Thank you so much for that, Steve. And I agree with you, David. It was really great meeting him in Harrisburg. And it sounds like we might be seeing and hearing from him a bit more in the future. I think he wants to get more involved with NFB.
And I don't want to say this without talking to him first, but he has a great voice and he would sound really good on this podcast. So Steve, give us a call. We're ready for you. So
welcome
again,
anytime.
Yeah, exactly. So as Lisa said, there were some issues with the hotel, with the meals especially, and you'll hear that in some of the folks in what they had to say. Next up, we have another Keystone chapter member and actually a board member from Keystone. And we didn't twist people's arms from Keystone to give us a call or to shoot us an email. It just so happened that we got a couple from Keystone, and that's what we're going with. So Mark Bias attended his first convention this year, a state convention, and he enjoyed the event and he enjoyed meeting folks for the first time outside of the chapter level. And that's one of the great things, Lisa, about the convention is you get to see people from all around the state who sometimes you may know them, sometimes you don't. It's nice to get to meet new folks within the affiliate. So let's listen to Mark. He called in.
Hello, my name is Mark Bias, calling from Philadelphia. I'm a member of the Keystone chapter of the NFB, and I had the opportunity to attend my first state convention this year, and I thought the entire experience was wonderful. It was nice to feel like I was part of the bigger organization, since my only interaction up until that point was only at the chapter level. So it was nice to see that, that there is a bigger, broader organization. I got a chance to speak with quite a few of the blind veterans, and I'm a veteran myself, so I thought that was nice. And my favorite part of the convention was when each chapter stood up and listed off their accomplishments for the year. It was nice to hear how active everyone was in advancing the causes that they thought were important. Again, I just thought that the entire experience was nice, and I look forward to attending again next year. Again, my name is Mark Bias, board member, Keystone Chapter, Philadelphia.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Keystone, for showing up. And you're right, David. The convention, it's a bit of both. It can be an annual reunion for those people. That's the only, the convention is the only time you see them, and then meeting new people. And speaking of newer people from our other chapter in Philadelphia, who's next up, David?
We have Marva, and she enjoyed the convention. She learned that she needs to learn a lot more, and she did say that she learned about resources that can be very helpful. So let's take a listen to her email.
I loved the convention, and I found out about a lot more opportunities I have to learn about and gravitate to as growing myself through the blind community. I didn't really like the hotel. It could have been better with housekeeping and food. But I really liked the conference. They were wonderful. I really learned a lot about new resources. Marva Hall.
Thank you, Marva. It's so great to hear that these people coming into this for the first time, I kind of got a sense from a few people, and even those who didn't necessarily send in feedback, it was a bit much of this is a little overwhelming. There's a lot of information, but it's also very exciting. And I think that's the other really common theme that you hear from people, like, now I'm really charged now. Like, I want more. I want help navigating this world of vision loss, because it actually can be very empowering when you are with others like you, but who are doing great things in and outside of the NFB.
Right. And it kind of puts you at ease, too, with some of the things, as Steve had mentioned in his email, he learned about SSDI information that he needed to know. And sometimes there are two things going at the same time, and you say, which one do I want to go to, this one or that one? And sometimes you have to make a hard choice. And it's okay, because we do record them all. They're not up anywhere yet, but we will slowly drip them out, most likely on this podcast. We may put them up on YouTube as well. We'll have to see about that as time goes on. But we do have a lot of the audio from the different presentations, and it'll be good so you can go back and listen to those. Lastly, we want to get to someone who I think is pretty special to have here talk about her observations from the convention, because she is actually the Chief Accessibility Officer within the Commonwealth. So let's hear from Ellen Strom and listen to what she has to say. And then we've got some other information that you're going to want to know on the other side.
What was the most important piece of information you learned? There is proposed legislation at the state and federal level about making state and local government web and mobile content accessible to people with disabilities. I found it very enlightening to get the perspective of the NFBP leadership on the DOJ's recommendation and hear the concerns they voiced, specifically about the various exceptions. What would you not have known had you not attended the convention? I found the testimony by a member of the NFBP at Senator Casey's Aging Committee hearing very interesting. I think it's important to get the lived experience included in the decision-making process. Briefly share anything else. This is the second year that I've attended the NFBP conference. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to speak with the membership and learn about the pain points they face every day. It helps me identify which initiatives should take priority. This year, I was able to bring a couple of team members to the conference so that they could expand their knowledge as well. I thank everyone for being so welcoming and for sharing their experiences. I look forward to next year's conference. Ellen Strom, Chief Accessibility Officer, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Ellen. And little side note, we're also hoping in the hopefully not too distant future to have Ellen on White Canes Connect, just talking about what she's doing in her role as Chief Accessibility Officer here in PA.
That'll be a great interview to find out everything that's going on within the state, where they can help folks as far as on the blindness side of things. Now, she did mention next year's convention, but she didn't say where it is. And I can tell everyone this. Start saving your pennies, because next year's convention is the 7th through the 10th of November in Erie. And we're all going to go there. And it's going to take a while. But just think, when you're going there, how many times all those folks from the Erie area, think Connie Shu, not only did she come, she most of the time brought all those delicious cookies. She came from Erie to the different places. So it's time that she just travels a couple of minutes. So we're all going to go to her area. And the place is a beautiful place where the convention is going to be. There's 4 hotels that you have the choices for. 2 of the hotels, if you were at the NFB convention in Houston over the summer, 2 hotels were attached right to the convention center. So they were easy to get from one to another. There's 2 hotels attached to the convention center where we'll have the 2024 NFB of Pennsylvania State Convention. We're going to do a bus from Philadelphia that's going to stop along the way to pick up a couple of other chapters on the way from Philadelphia over to Erie. And again, it's not a short ride, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, it's a great location that we're going to go to. I'll have all the information in the show notes, because we do have links over on the website, nfbofpa.org, where you can check that out. We're very hopeful that we will eliminate any of the issues that we had as far as the hotel and the convention goes in the 2024 version of the NFB of Pennsylvania State Convention. Still working on the 2023 issues with the hotel and things like that. Nothing that I can announce here, but save your pennies. We're going to Erie in 2024, November 7th through the 10th. And Lisa, it should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it, Lisa.
I agree with you that it will be a long haul, but it should but fun as well once we actually get there. So are we ready to switch gears?
We are ready to switch gears. And I just listened to this for the first time a couple of days ago when I was putting the show together. And Lisa had told me about this. We got the next group of audio clips you're going to hear are from folks who called in or sent us voice memos to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and so forth. And they were previous guests on White Canes Connect. Now, we didn't get everybody that was on, so don't worry. It's not going to be a 10-hour event of people saying, hey, this is so-and-so from XYZ. But the first one that I chose to use is one from David Dinoteris. Now, a lot of folks are familiar with him. He is always very upbeat. He's the access equals success guy. And let's just listen to David.
Hello, this is David Dino Taras from Hershey, Pennsylvania, the sweetest place on earth. And I am so happy to be recording this holiday greeting for my awesome friends David and Lisa at White Canes Connect podcast. All the wonderful subscribers and guests that they've had. Really enjoy the program. And so excited for the year to come. Isn't that right? Listen, I know that there's a lot of out there, but David and Lisa bring so much sunshine and sunshine. But anyway, they bring so much sunshine to all of us, and we're so grateful for all you do, David and Lisa. So thank you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a very happy new year, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
David never fails to disappoint. He is always lively, over the top, encouraging, exciting, all of those superlatives apply. So thank you, David. He's a faithful guy, and we appreciate his support and always coming through for us.
And I'm guessing when he meant that we bring a lot of sunshine, he was probably talking about you, or it was the glare off of my bald head. I'm not sure which one, but it was one of those two things.
But David, thank you. And next up is Susie. I remember Susie.
Yeah, Susie was, it's an interesting story how Susie came to our podcast from Southeastern Guide Dogs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Lisa, if you saw it first, or if you told me, or if Liz, my wife, saw it first.
I remember telling you about it first, and then you saw it, but that was how you actually got in touch with Southeastern Guide Dogs. So yeah, I remember seeing the commercial, and that kind of started us stirring because it was a commercial for their services of providing guide dogs, but there was no audio, no caption, even, so if you were visually impaired, maybe could see some of the words, no caption, no voiceover, just images with some nice music. And that's actually what caught my attention in the first place is the music. And that started us on a little bit of an investigative journey, right, David?
Yeah, it really did. And I was infuriated when Liz, my wife, had recorded something, and she says, you got to check this out. And maybe she had known about it. Maybe I had told her what Lisa had seen. And after I viewed this commercial, I thought, you know what, I'm going to call. I went on the internet, I found their phone number, and I gave a call. And the name is slipping me at this moment, who I spoke to there. She's the director of marketing, I believe was her title.
And she was great to work with, by the way.
She apologized up and down. Now, keep in mind that both Lisa and I have a little bit of sight, and I obviously live in a sighted household. So I only turn on audio description when I'm watching on my own. And so audio description wasn't on. And when I turned audio description on for what I recorded, there was no AD on that commercial. Now, I don't know if it was because it was on the DVR. I don't know if it was because of whatever channel my wife had recorded it on. I don't know what the story was there, but there was no AD on that. And she went up and down to tell me it's absolutely, there's always audio description on all of their commercials. So she then sent me a couple of clips, which I believe we played on one of the episodes. I know I played it on my own podcast, but that's what got the ball rolling. And it was so interesting how everything got started. And then she put us in contact. She said, hey, we have this person that would be great to come on your show. How about if Susie comes on? And we had Susie on, and Susie was great to have on.
Yeah. So Susie is pretty much an ambassador for Southeastern Guide Dogs. And I found the name. I just want to give proper credit to Ashley Handy. She was the contact at Southeastern. But Susie was kind enough to send us a greeting.
Hi, this is Susie Wilburn from Southeastern Guide Dogs, wishing everyone a happy, safe, and joyous holiday season.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well, Susie. And thanks again for coming on White Canes Connect earlier in 2023. We really appreciate it. And Lisa, as we talk about all the folks that we've had on this year, I think back and remember we kicked off the year with the Blind Life YouTuber, Sam Seavey, and he is great. I don't know if you continue to watch him. I watch him. I subscribe to his channel. He always has a lot of great information on different things, whether it's new products, whether it's electronics, whether it's assistive technology. It's a great resource to learn how to do certain things. And I think you and he went back and forth about TVs, was it? Is that what it was?
Yeah, he was very gracious with his time. I literally was just reaching out to him blindly thinking, okay, this guy probably gets a ton of emails asking, hey, what do you think of this? But not only did he get back to me right away, but he sent an audio message, which was, I just thought, he said it was just more convenient, but I took it a little differently. I took it as a little more personal touch, and it was kind of like just talking to him, if he was right there. So that's what got the ball rolling and led to him coming on the show.
Right. And again, he was a great interview, and we'll put some links in the show notes for the different episodes that we're mentioning. Now, another one that I really enjoyed, and I think you did as well, Lisa, and I'll ask you after we hear from Sue Brazel, the blind angel gardener, with her greeting, and it's more of a poem, but it's very nice. Let's hear from Sue, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Hi, this is Sue Brazel with a take on a poem you might recognize. 'Twas the month of December when all through the house the only one stirring was a little gray mouse. He nibbled on seeds and packaging too, which would have been sprouts in days just a few. Leaves and stems were nurtured with care in hopes that greens soon would be there. The bulbs in the pot on the table could grow when watered and cared for by someone you know. It is now time for parsley, sage, and rosemary to say, have a sweet and savory Christmas. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, Sue. And thanks again for coming on. Lisa, so tell us, is that plant still alive?
No. It did not make it. But I don't feel bad because some friends gave that to me as a birthday present.
And it was a topiary? Was it a topiary? Is that what I'm remembering?
It was
bonsai. A bonsai. Yeah. Okay.
Somehow something happened with their order and they got 2 extra. So all 3 of us had this plant and none of them survived.
All 3 are dead.
So,
huh?
Yeah. And it was doing so well initially. So I'm going to have to circle back with Sue and see if I could have like a conversation like, what do I do if I get one of these again?
Right. I was thinking about her about a week ago, again, long before we were putting everything together. Now, I knew Sue had called in with that greeting, but my wife was peeling some grapefruit for my daughter and my wife and I to eat. And she always leaves the juice for me. And of course, in the juice, there's always these seeds. And I got these seeds in my mouth and I'm thinking, Sue said that we could probably grow these.
That's right. That's right.
And I thought, should I try to grow them? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to try. Not with these, but maybe and it made me think of her. So when I was putting the show together, I'm like, oh yeah, this will give us a time to talk about that. So check out that episode if you have any inclination to do any kind of gardening, whether it's indoor or outdoor. And obviously now that it's winter, outdoor might not be the thing, but you can start stuff indoors. And Sue tells us how in the episode where we had her. And again, we'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah. And be sure to listen to that entire show because she gives her contact information. She is so available and she loves what she does. So if you have any kind of gardening questions, Sue is your gal.
Now, I have to tell you, this next one comes from, again, someone in our Philadelphia area here. And we had Juliet on an episode where she talked, and we had a couple other folks from Philly Achilles, which is the running and walking and exercise organization, quickly shot to one of our most downloaded episodes. And let's listen to Juliet, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Here's Juliet Warren.
Hey, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. This is your girl and your favorite Philadelphia Achilles athlete, Juliet, locked and loaded for the holidays. My favorite part of the holiday by far is spending time with the people that I love and care about the most, my family and my friends. I have one special Christmas wish this year, so Santa, I need you to put on your listening ears. All I want for Christmas this year is a Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl win. Eagles! Eagles! Let's go! Merry Christmas, baby!
Boy, that Juliet, she's a card.
Yeah, I got that text at around 11:30 one Friday night, and I listened to it, and it put such a big smile on my face when I heard it. And then she worried, and I texted her back thanking her for it. And she said, I'm glad it's not too late. I said, no, you can text or call me up till 3. But Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, Juliet. Hope we see a lot of you in the coming year.
Yeah, thanks, Juliet. But we have one more, Natanya.
We do have one more. Yes, we have one more. And this one is going to give us some great talking points on the other side. But Natanya was just on not that long ago. In fact, it was episode 91. So it was our last episode. She is the ambassador for Vision Corps, and she talks about A Christmas Carol at People's Light, the theater in Malvern. And so let's hear from Natanya, because not only does she give a greeting, but she has some holiday memories that she wants to talk about.
Hi, this is Natanya Sortland. I'm an ambassador at Vision Corps. I'm wishing everyone a very happy holiday. My favorite thing to do over the holidays is to go to People's Light Theater and to see A Christmas Carol. I love it. Well, I don't exactly see A Christmas Carol, but I love to hear it.
I really enjoyed meeting Natanya when I met her at a performance at People's Light. She has, again, great energy and passion for what she does. It was really her efforts that led to Carol, the artist, performing at People's Light.
Yeah, and it was nice to have them on. And Carol's voice, again, just outstanding. And we'll link to it as I did in episode 91, but we'll link to it. Carol has a YouTube channel, and she has a very nice voice, as you can hear if you listen to episode 91. And that was over the phone with the audio that you get from there. But one of the things that struck me that Natanya said were some of her memories and what she likes to do. And I thought of a couple. On the first night of Hanukkah, we have in our foyer area of our house this, it's something that hangs on the wall. It's a menorah that hangs on the wall that has a place to put these stuffed candles that have a piece of Velcro on the back that then you attach a Velcro flame. And I always laugh at this because we got this when our kids were little. When Liz and I first had kids, we thought, okay, this will be safe for them to light. They could do it when they're 2 years old. You know, basically they go in, they pick a candle out, they put the flame on it, and they stick it in the menorah. And there's no danger to them. So my son is going to be 30. I should say our son is going to be 30, and our daughter is going to be 27 in a couple of weeks. And so I think about Liz getting this because when I was around 8 years old, I've been visually impaired my entire life. I would look very closely to light the candles. And of course, as some who know me know that I'm very independent and I didn't need help from anyone, not my mom or my dad. And I was looking so closely to light the wick of the candle that I singed the front of my hair.
Oh my gosh.
And it smelled so bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, burnt hair is like not a pretty scent.
So my parents, I can't believe it, but the next night they let me light them again. And I think about that. And again, it wasn't yesterday. I just turned 59. So we're talking about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think about that. So what a great memory that is. And just thinking about all the other memories, you know, my wife is Catholic. So when our kids were little, we used to wrap up this room so they couldn't go into the room until Christmas morning. And they would bust through the wrapping paper. Well, the room that they were breaking into was one step down. And my daughter, when she was little, maybe 3 or 4, maybe a little bit older, she was running so fast to run into the wrapping that she kept going. And we had one of those Bubble Boy hockey machines, and she ran right into that.
Oh my
and of course, that's something we think about every Christmas morning now too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what gosh, I actually have quite a few wonderful memories of Christmases over the years, but for some reason, the image, when we're reflecting on, Christmases of long ago, the first image that comes to mind is this picture of me, and I guess I'm around, I would say 9, 10, me with my mom and my dad in our matching Christmas pajamas in front of the tree.
Now, did you get them special each year, the Christmas pajamas?
No, I only remember that one year. And,
okay.
It's kind of funny, as tall as I look in that picture, you would think I would have been mortified to be, taking a picture with my parents in our Christmas pajamas, but I'm smiling just as happily, but, now it's like, oh my gosh. And they were really bad, like with the reindeer and the red and white. They were really loud, but we all had the same Christmas pajamas. At least that one year we did. It wasn't necessarily a tradition. But that's just kind of one of the first images that I have. I do remember getting up at like the crack of dawn to run downstairs. And I don't know how my parents did it. They just waited me out because, one, it was hard for me to go to sleep.
Okay.
So they had to wait me out for me to finally go to sleep. And then they had to find that short window of time when I was actually asleep and put all that stuff down, put that bike together or wherever they had it, so that when I went down there maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, everything was all in place.
That's funny. That is
Christmas
funny.
Miracle.
Yeah.
Well, David, it has been a great year. And what I am excited about is your position, your tenure, your role as first vice president of the PA affiliate. Again, I know I'm so proud and I'm so happy. And there are many of us within the Keystone chapter and everyone else around in the PA affiliate that knows you. We're really excited about this. And I think it's a tremendous opportunity for you. We're so proud of you, looking for a great year to come in 2024. So officially, congratulations again, and well done and well deserved.
I appreciate that, and I hope I can live up to the expectations. We'll see how that goes. But not only with the affiliate in general, but even with White Canes Connect, we've got a lot coming up in 2024. So we had talked about the 2023 convention. We had Rabbi Lenny Sarko there. He has become a lifetime member of the affiliate, and we expect to have him on in the coming weeks or months. We'll see how everything lines up. But looking forward to having him on the podcast. We've got a lot of great episodes that we want to share in 2024, Lisa.
Yeah, we do. And we are always still very open to your ideas and suggestions. And, we welcome them. So feel free, again, to email us or call us if you want to email anything, whether it's feedback or suggested for a show. You can do that by emailing whitecanesconnect@gmail.com.
Or you could give a call at 267-338-4495. You've got up to 3 minutes to leave your name and town and whatever your suggestion, your comment, whatever you've got. We'd love to hear from you. In fact, that's how Sue called in and left her greeting for the holidays. So again, 267-338-4495. Now, before we go, some people have asked, what else do you do? And where else can we find you? So Lisa, let's start with you. Let's talk about your website.
Well, I do have a website, bylisabryant.com, and there you will find some articles that I've written on the blind community, as well as some issues on health and women and social justice. And looking forward to, got some other ideas up my sleeve. So there'll be some new stories posted, hopefully, in the very near future.
And By Lisa Bryant is like a byline by Lisa.
Yes,
so,
BY.
So go check out bylisabryant.com. And again, it's like the byline by Lisa Bryant. What are some of the publications you write for?
Mostly local, although I am looking to expand my my reach. But folks here in the Philadelphia area might be familiar with Billy Penn. That is the local PBS media, one of the local PBS media affiliates. Then there's the Philadelphia Citizen, which is, I guess, for lack of a better way of describing it, a more progressive, but very, very local and very grassroots community voices sort of outlet. Oh, and Technically, yes. Technically is actually, they are a little more beyond the Philadelphia area. They cover issues in Philadelphia and Boston and DC. They are more tech-based, as the name implies. So issues around accessibility as it concerns websites or apps, those are the kind of things that I've written about for them. And in fact, that is the next project, is with Technically.
If you go to your website, those links go to the various publications you've been in. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So check it out. ByLisaBryant.com.
David, you have been in the podcast business way before it was as trendy as it is now. Give people the name of your podcast.
Yes. So I just celebrated 5 years of I Can't See You. And it sounds like it's a whole sentence, but it's only 7 characters long. ICANTCU.com is where you can find it, or any of the podcast players. I Can't See You podcast. And basically what I do, I talk about different things that go on with me. And if you're blind, you've had the same things happen to you. I have no doubt in my mind, because some of these things don't happen to just me. In fact, none of these things happen to just me. And the podcast that I do is mainly for folks who have sight, who wonder, hey, how does a blind person do that? Or as we did the other day at St. Lucie, the couple of the students were asking us, hey, how do blind people cook? Hey, how do you do this? How do you get from here to there? And that's what my podcast is about. It's things that I go through. It's tech that I deal with. I have the Celeste glasses, so I've been playing with them. I talk about that. Anytime I go somewhere, and that's usually when I get a lot more downloads, when I talk about traveling, going to New York to visit my daughter, and going to Harrisburg to different events, whether it's the state convention or the Blind Merchants Christmas party and fundraiser. And so that's what I talk about. And everything's available over on the website, ican'tseeyou.com, or on the podcast with Apple, Spotify, Odyssey. You can check me out. Also, you can find me on any of the socials at David Benge. And I have to tell you, Lisa, I was on with Brian Fischler and That Real Blind Tech Show crew the other day, along with Stephen Scott and Sean Priest on Double Tap. And Stephen asked me, where can people find you on social media? I said, like Brian said, and Brian makes fun of me the way I say it. You can find me at David Benge on all the socials. And Brian said, wait, you can't do it that way, because at the beginning of my podcast, I do it a different way. And if you want to hear it, I'm not going to do it here, but if you want to hear it, you can listen to an episode of I Can't See You, because I do it in every episode. Now, I didn't do it the first maybe 100 episodes. I'm 250 some in at this point, but I do it. It's been happening this way for quite a while. So at David Benge, Twitter, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, where you can also listen to the show. And by the way, if you didn't know, you can also listen to White Canes Connect on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@PABlindPodcast. So at PA Blind Podcast on both Twitter and YouTube. And you can check out the episodes that we put up there as well. And one thing I did want to mention, and I forgot to mention this early on, you heard Chris Westbrook at the beginning of the show do his holiday greeting. And Ellen was talking about Chris testifying down on Capitol Hill. So Chris did a great job with that. Lisa, is your piece, did that go live yet that you did with Chris?
No, it did not. And that actually will be a little different. I'm not sure how much that part of the will be part of the story.
Okay. But Chris did testify on Capitol Hill about website accessibility on not just any websites, but government websites. And I know a lot of people have had some issues, whether it's with unemployment or any of the various governmental agencies, not being able to use the website of someplace they have to go to fill out a form to get some sort of services, whatever it might be. And it's not accessible, which is infuriating when they expect everyone else to have websites that are accessible. So Chris testified down there on Capitol Hill in Washington. So at some point, we hope to have, or a link at least to, if there's video of that we will put in the show notes. I don't think I have that yet, but I'm hoping to have that soon. But a lot of great things to come in 2024 with White Canes Connect. Again, if you have questions or comments or show ideas, please reach out 267-338-4495. And Lisa, you can give the email.
whitecanesconnect@gmail.com.
Lisa, it's been a fun year of doing all these episodes with you and working with you. And Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year. And I can't wait to work again together with you in 2024.
And right back at you, my friend. Merry Christmas to you. I know Hanukkah's already passed, and Happy New Year to come. And it's been a great year. And I think the best is yet to come. I know that's a cliche, but I believe it. I believe we're going to do even greater in 2024.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So to you listening, we really do appreciate you every time you download and listen. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we hope it's a great and healthy year for you and your family.
Take care, everybody. Thank you for your continued listening support.